How's it going? How you doing today?
I'm okay. Always working.
And where are you again right now?
I'm at the moment in Belgium.
In Belgium. And you say at the moment, as in do you hop back and forth between somewhere else? Or
Yeah, to the Philippines.
To the Philippines. Okay, right on.
Yes.
You're wearing a New Yorker hat.
Yeah, well, it's just a hat.
Yeah.
I'll just show you why.
Sure.
I don't have much hair on my head, so.
Have you been to the States?
No, never.
No, it's a cool hat though.
I think I got it from the Philippines. So.
That's fun. You got a New York hat from the Philippines, and you're wearing it in Belgium.
Yeah.
Nice.
Why not?
I have an Italia jacket, and I don't really pay attention to football, and I've never been to Italy, but it's a nice jacket. So.
Yeah, I have nothing to do with the sports. I'm not a sportsman. So.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
You are a video games man, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
Do you play games much, or are you more one of those people who says, "Oh, I don't play them, I just develop them"? Or what's?
Well, yeah, I do play, but not as much as before, of course, because I'm doing a lot of working hours at the moment. So.
Right. What are you working on right now?
On the Darklight. So
that's still going. Are you at?
Yeah.
I don't really keep up too much with the production of it. I know it exists. I've seen the trailer many a times. Are you adding features, or is it all bug patches? What are you working on?
No. It's still it's not yet completed. It's also an early access still on Steam.
Gotcha.
So there is still new stuff coming in.
That's exciting.
So,
to be in the middle of that. How long has it been in early access for?
Over a year now.
What's the feedback been on that like?
Yeah, well, mostly it's been good, but we had also feedback on stuff that like from the character, and which is good, so you can adjust. So afterwards, we got a lot of better comments also on that. Early access is actually a good thing also to if you're gonna make a game. Of course, you get also negative reviews. That's the down part on it.
Yeah, but what are you
gonna do? You learn from it. So that's what an important point on that.
Was there before early access? Were you guys did you have play testers kind of before that, or was it really just delegated to?
No, it's just mostly us.
It's very exciting to have a game on Steam, to be in the middle of early access too, getting real world feedback and still working on it and stuff. That's crazy.
Yeah.
How much of the game is made in PlayMaker, by the way? I'm not too familiar with the production cycle of this game.
Well, mostly it's done in PlayMaker. So, but yeah, also I know already now how to program thanks to PlayMaker. I can make my own actions and stuff. So if I need something, I can make it. But yeah, mostly it's PlayMaker. You have some additional I think for controls like Rewired. Every other game I made also I use Rewired.
It's
just so
Noted.
Good. Yeah.
And Rewired, is that mostly for being able to do custom key binding things?
It has full control for all kinds of controller. So PlayStation, Xbox, you can set it up for each controller separately. You have one generic one. Yeah, in the beginning it's a bit intimidating to use it, but once you know the power of it, it's plug and play. Also, when you take out the USB from it and you put another one in, it's very easy to. So it's all plug and play. Not the Unity. Unity made a new one, and it's it's still the same. It's not. I never actually really used it, so I'm not 100% sure. But I got enough feedback from it, so I know. I'll stay on Rewired.
Noted. I should look into that. I haven't. To be very honest, I've been pretty irresponsible. Not irresponsible, but I've neglected to look into controls as much.
It has an easy template also that you can use for players want to change their buttons and stuff. All those things. So it's very useful. And it has PlayMaker actions. So
you started with PlayMaker and because of PlayMaker you learned how to code and stuff, and you're using this other asset. Are you using any other third-party assets? Because I'm trying to figure out how much of it is if somebody said they wanted to build a game from the ground up with PlayMaker, of course I would always tell them, yes, absolutely, you could do that.
Yeah.
But that's also coming from the guy myself. I still have spent money on assets that come with PlayMaker actions that that took care of a lot of programming stuff for me. Are there any other things any other assets that you've used too that kind of really bridge that gap for things that may have been a little harder to do with PlayMaker?
Well, something you also always use is like easy save. So that's
Easy save,
on my
yes.
that's definitely something you need. I think that's the two main ones that I could think of that I use in every project. Yeah, you have some extra action on the ecosystem for the array lists. You can save also the array lists. You want to try that with the player prefs? It's very hard to do. It's very limited player prefs. Yes,
it drove me insane coming up with all the keys. What is your background even with making games? Like, when did all of this start for you?
When I was 12, I actually started like on school. I was not a good boy on school. I was always.
Neither was I.
Always going on paper, designing actually games that time. Right. But then, later on, actually I had like a Commodore 64 also before. And I did actually some basic programming on it. I remember I made like a text-based adventure game. Just a small one, all the basics I knew that time already. I got a bit older. I got live with friends and girls, and actually I forgot about programming, playing games, of course.
Right.
So I played a lot of games like Counter-Strike, World of Warcraft later on, and
so it started with like making the games for you, and then there was a follow-up.
Yeah, that's the
like, I'm
first.
Play them now. We'll get back to what you were playing because I definitely want to hear about that, what you grew up on and stuff. But when you did eventually circle back around and got back to making them, what was that? Was that like after high school and college, or what was that?
8 years ago, I think. Well, in 2006, like I said, we went to the Philippines. And we started living there, and my kids went to school there also, and then we went back and forth, work in Belgium, and then go to the Philippines. So he started high school, and he started on IT, and it's actually that's what made me think. So why did I stop that time? Because that's something I like to do. I also started self-learning through YouTube, and that time Unity had still JavaScript. I think.
Sure. Yeah.
No, Java and Boo. I'm not sure, but there was still a different language also special for Unity, and later on they threw away them and only used C#.
Sure.
So I know a little bit basics, so I started from there. The first game I was making just for trying out, it was like a Pong game.
Sure. Start with a classic.
Yeah, but it's so actually the stick, and when you hit the ball to get the direction of that to change the angle, that was like pretty hard for me that time.
Sure.
So I was hitting walls, actually literally hitting walls in the game.
Yeah.
But so then I found PlayMaker. Yeah, and that
just drag and drop and get angular velocity.
Yes, so it became a lot more easier, and by that time there weren't that much of actions. Yeah, many times I had like problems because there were no actions for it or something. Then I started to investigate and look to the actions themselves, and by looking to them, I started to play around with it and making my own actions. And after a while, I got used to it, so I started more to understand also how C# works.
I see.
And that's why I also started to look into C# because they were in C# and not in Java. Yeah, later I started to make like tutorials also. Then also, I was like on Patreon. And,
Patreon. You were on Patreon?
Yeah, I think I still have the account there, and
sure.
But it didn't earn much with it. Yeah, so all the samples I made a app for it and put it on the Unity store. You don't really need them, so you can follow the tutorials without the assets themselves. But
right.
I needed to make like an editor tool so you can easily install things because you needed to get the ecosystem, the UGUI. As at that time it was UGUI actions. They didn't have the built-in UI yet.
Right.
So you could just click on the actions that are missing, and it automatically would open the ecosystem. And if it didn't have the ecosystem, then you needed to it will open the website to get the ecosystem or stuff like that. but that's already really getting more into the coding of C#.
Seriously?
So
I was about to say too. So like,
it took me a long time to make it, and I'm very now it's all getting a lot more easier. So so that's really made me forced. Well, not forced, but I mean that really made me learn more about C# also.
Where would you say your time split in writing C# and PlayMaker? Like, do you use PlayMaker more?
No, mostly
Right.
Mostly PlayMaker.
And when you do your C#, you're doing custom action stuff.
Yeah, so create custom actions. Also, like this year, also with scriptable objects, also, and that's a lot more powerful if you can also program actions for it.
Right.
So without it, it's a bit difficult. But yeah, it gives you a lot of power actually to. Before I used like XML also for database stuff, and yeah, one of the problem with XML is it's slow. So when you load in and then you put it into hash tables, so that takes time. So and the more data you have, the longer it takes.
With literally this morning, just before you even messaged me, like while you messaged me, I was on a 4-hour phone call with Jean Fabre for him teaching me how to use DataMaker so we can parse my CSV to JSON to XML and put all those values into hash tables. So I totally hear you. It's funny because like literally only, this morning I got a taste of the upfront work you have to do. It seems very powerful though, right? Like once
it's very good, but so when you start loading a scene, you can use that, but during the game, use the XML. It's slow, so it's not good. Yeah, if you have games like a question, the multiple question games like that, that's okay because it doesn't make you lag. But like with an action game or something, then you can notice it. So in the beginning, I had like XMLs and then I had this issue. So yeah, there is lag on it. So then I noticed the reason. So I turned them to hash tables. And so when I load in, I turn them to hash tables, and then that's fine. That works fine. But like scriptables is you don't need to load it. So that makes it a lot faster.
I'm going to have to look at my options because I'm barely learning a lot of this stuff.
I even learned that myself now, like this year. So we're already like 60%, 70% in the game, and now we found out. So better late than ever.
Sure, of course. Yeah. I was going to ask, did you ever watch any GDC talks?
Some of them, yeah, but not so much. But I've been watching a few.
Last year, actually. It's been over a year, and I'm sure it's been even longer since I first saw it. But there's a GDC talk from Valve. One of the designers at Valve has a presentation talking about the dynamic dialogue in Left 4 Dead and how they used essentially spreadsheets to create all this information because they wanted their writers to have a very simple system to say like, if this happens and this happens and this happens, then the characters should say this. And for a writer, one of the easiest things that they found out for them to use was just a spreadsheet. And then they would then take all that data in and create these essentially what is just like a decision-making system, like a way to query like huge strings of conditions. I wasn't sure how to do it. I knew DataMaker would be involved, but I just started kind of getting into that recently, and that's been like a very exciting frontier, just as far as like how to use that kind of information. Do you enjoy like intaking information, like learning constantly from kind of other developers? Like, do you do that on your downtime? Like, are you watching YouTube videos or listening to podcasts and stuff like that?
Well, yeah, if I have something to do, so then I start looking. Just like before, so on the forums, I've been very active on the forums before, and well, still now. The main reason I did it is like, so I looked to a problem.
Yeah.
And because at that time I'm not really was making certain games yet, so I was more in a learning process.
Right.
And what I did actually is look to other problems and then solve them, and then I came back and answered them. Yeah, that's really the way I really started to learn more and more.
So like you were talking about the Pong game that you're making, and then you're now talking about helping other people with their problems. But what about the first time you made your own game?
So there's Hit the Lights. It's not anymore on Android, but it was like like on Android for a while. It's like a little button game. You need to be as quick as when they light on, you press them.
Oh, sure. Kind of like
whack-a-mole? Yeah, a little bit like that, yeah. So they light up and then you press them and you can play with 2 players and stuff. I think on my website there is still a picture from it. Then I put it on the store. And it was like new releases, you have the new releases on the store. So the minute I put it on, I was waiting and looking and looking and looking. It never came in the list.
Oh, yeah. That's hard. It's a rough game to play. Wait, this was on the Android App Store or is it iOS?
Yeah,
okay.
Google app. Yeah,
right,
Google apps.
Google Apps.
Yeah. So it came never on the store. So later on, I made another game, and it's like a copy from a game from Amiga. It's called Balloonacy. It's actually my wife that loved to play that game. So
the original one?
I actually made a version, the original. Right. So yeah, I made like a remake from that, and that I put it also on the Asset Store, but as a paid version. So like premium,
right?
And yeah, I did the same thing. So I was looking, and it never came in the list. So yeah, without advertisements on your games. It's very hard to get there. Or if you do like podcasts and stuff, you need to be seen before your games get somewhere.
Right, like the thing they always say is like build your audience before you need one.
Even while you're already working on, you can if you can do some advertisement or podcasts or whatever. It depends on the game, of course.
Yeah, exactly. That's even kind of what a lot of this is about. My whole YouTube channel is based around the idea that like people need to know the fact that I'm going to be working on something, and I had no other means of letting the world know. And on top of that, I'm just kind of got involved in the community and having other people that are involved too, so they have a platform. The game that you published, that was by yourself, but I think you also said that for it's not just your game. You're working on this with a team.
No. I'm they approached me with this idea, and they showed me some small videos they made on the design and stuff. And so I definitely liked this design. So that's the moment I started to work with them. Yeah, I'm the only programmer.
Oh, right on. Yeah. That's crazy. You're breathing life, and you're like making their dreams come true in a lot of ways.
For them. Right? So they're in the beginning. So it's a couple. They are with 2. She was doing some programming on it in the very beginning, but I noticed quick enough so that the knowledge was not yet good enough to really make this kind of game. So
they create all the asset stuff. Like they're the ones producing the backgrounds and the characters and everything. I make the things move. Right. The damage and all the programming, UI. Years ago, I began production on a game that obviously never came around, but it was a game that I designed all the assets for up front and then reached out to friends to see if they can help me find somebody to program them. And the way I always approach people and the way I always talk to people until I finally did find a friend who would help me, I always said like, I'll make the things and then like they would breathe life into it. Like that's how I always saw it, is like you give it life. It's this dead kind of hunk of polygons until somebody comes along and actually programs the thing. That's a cool dynamic when somebody can kind of like, build the body of it and then you kind of put the heart and the brain in the thing. So it's fun. That's because you don't have to worry about asset creation either, right? So that must be...
No, that's I'm very bad in graphics, so that's definitely not my point.
Do you ever like request assets? Like, do you ever say like, oh, if the logic needs this or that, like then we're going to need this animation to kind of have an in-between state, or like, hey, like...
Yeah, sometimes it happened that you have some, especially because it's sprite based. So sometimes you need like some in between actions to convert from one to the another.
Right. You get along with them pretty well, the team.
Yeah, fine.
Cool. What is their background like? What do you guys like? Do you guys have like a... Were they local? Did you just find them on the internet? Do they live across the world?
No, they found me actually, and they live in Australia.
Australia, okay.
Yeah.
It's an Australian game, an Australian and Brussels collaboration.
Yeah, Brussels/Philippines.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, so they actually approached me from. So they mailed me. They saw me on PlayMaker always. Because I'm very active in PlayMaker. So yeah, so there they found me. They approached me to ask. So that's the first full game that I did. Before I already did also several small things like some prototypes or some UI for shops, setting up the shops and stuff. So. And now I'm doing also more, on the side also like tools, like for flashing lights. I made already several tools to use for them.
Right, you're working on another kind of a big game that's happening.
Yeah, I'm not really working on that. So,
it was a one-time thing.
No. No, it's only like regularly he calls me or on Discord. So if there is some tools that he needs to. I think one of the first things was like to grab a whole list of objects and to put it in an array.
Oh right, I saw that on your site. It's get all childs, put them in an array.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So that was just a tool to make that automatic, and there are some other tools. So
I'm tired of using get next child and iterating add array. It was nice to have that action.
Well, it's not actually. It's just an editor tool, actually. So.
That's even cooler to add it into the default values of an array.
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. Yeah.
So you can grab a whole list of objects and then drag and drop that, or I think you need to press a button, select everything, and then put the FSM with array name, and then you press the button and everything goes in.
Right.
Something like that. Some other tools also for I think the last one is like because he has a lot of scenes. The world is split up in several scenes, and then to get so when they are making a new part, you need to put them in all those separate scenes. It's like a grid-based scenes.
Sure. So
it's like 31, 32, 31, 33. And that makes the grid of the whole world.
Oh, uh-huh.
And then so the objects they are so when they make like a chunk of the world, he needed to manually place them in each scene. So something for that. So I made a tool to find the positions of the objects and then automatically putting them in the other scenes.
That's another editor tool. Then it doesn't happen at runtime. That sounds very.
Yeah, and I noticed I really like also to do those things like the editor tool.
I wish there was PlayMaker for the creation of editor tools.
Yeah. That would be also good, but I don't know if that's possible.
You've worked on a couple of games in some capacity, right? And you're kind of, in a lot of ways, you're very fortunate to be a part of something that is on the market and it is selling, right? It's not just some passion project that, we're crossing our fingers, that goes up on itch for free and, all that kind of stuff. So that's pretty exciting that you get to work on that stuff. Are you...
yeah, definitely.
Do you have any passion projects that you would just be you, or that you would start, that you would be kind of just directing for your own stuff? Or are you do you have more fun kind of, being on a team and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think a team is good because when you're working, alone is alone. So
right.
It's still it's a difference from working alone or working with a team. Sometimes it's more difficult also something because if you collaborate, you one wants it like that, the other one wants it like that. But in the end, I think it's better if you can work with more than one. It can also improve for the game itself. One person can think like this, the other one can think like that, and in the end, you can find a better way for to do something, for example.
Sure, it can also work faster, right? Get more done in a shorter amount of time.
Yeah, of course, if you're with more. My son helped sometimes. So for
really?
game testing mostly.
Oh, game testing.
Recently also, so he has also already some knowledge with PlayMaker, and he's also starting on a project together with somebody also just recently. So.
That's exciting. To be able to have that to share that with your son, because it's a passion
definitely
that you guys share.
Yeah.
That's rad.
So, I'm very happy for him also. So,
developing game, you learned how to do programming stuff as a kid. Yeah. What happened in the middle of all that? What kind of games were you playing?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, Counter-Strike was something I played. I did also competition with friends and
nice. Like LAN parties. Did you have LAN parties set up?
Yeah. We've been several LAN parties where you sleep overnight, 3 days. You have your sleeping bag.
Yes,
it was really fun that time also.
Right.
Yeah, at that time, so there was even earlier when we go to the LAN parties, there was no internet really yet. Only like with a telephone line.
Right.
You connect. So yeah, we went also to those parties to copy games. Yeah, I know it's illegal, but yeah, we didn't have much money that time, and we were young and having fun. So yeah, that happened. It's just something that always happens. So,
right. It's your right.
Now I wouldn't do that anymore. Now I buy all the games. So yeah,
same.
Especially because as a programmer, you know already how much work there is on it. So that's definitely underestimated how much work there is actually, because when you think it's going to take like a week
5
or something,
yeah, because it's like, oh, this it downloads that quick, so it probably didn't take that long to make the thing.
Yeah. To make it is like one day or something you can make it, but yeah, when you get to it, it's like, oh shit, it took a little bit longer than I expected.
Like, was your copy of Counter-Strike pirated?
No.
Yeah, neither was mine. I went and bought mine at an Office Depot.
Yeah, Half-Life.
The big box.
Yeah. I might even have still the Half-Life box.
That's a thing to hold on to. I have I don't have Half-Life, but I have my original Counter-Strike box.
Yeah, I have the Half-Life, and then like Warcraft 3 and those games I've been playing, also StarCraft.
Right.
Yeah, and before in arcades, like things like Mortal Kombat. Especially, I've been working like a year in an arcade hall. And yeah, then it was just the release of Mortal Kombat 2. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I've been organizing tournaments there. My boss didn't know about it, but it was like really fun.
That's awesome. So, that sounds like such a great time. Or do you still do stuff like that? Do you go to events? Are there sort of in-person community? I know the pandemic obviously has probably some things, but even before the pandemic, were you kind of involved in the community stuff with game related stuff?
But I did the last few years ago also with the game jam. So I was judge with it.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, that was with PlayMaker. So,
was it the where was that one? I think Jean told me about that.
I've been things like Gamescom in Germany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just something similar to PAX, I think.
I see.
So yeah, you have the releases of games, and you have tournaments going on from League of Legends and stuff.
Oh shit.
Live tournaments. All from new releases or pre-releases. You can play stuff. There the first time also I tried the VR. Had to wait 3-4 hours to get to in line just to have a glimpse from 10 minutes.
What was it? Which VR did you try? Which headset?
I think the one of the Valve or the Vive.
Yeah, Vive.
I think one of the first from the Vive.
What did you play? What was the demo?
No. It was like you come in, you have 5 minutes, and you come out. But yeah, I have my own VR now, the Oculus Quest 2, so that's definitely something I enjoy. So.
Right on. Yeah, I got mine over here too. I'm not an Oculus guy, but I have my Vive. And this is the second Vive I've owned. The first time I got one, I gave it to my friend who was developing our game. I said, you should just take it because you do all the work. And then later on, I was like, I got to get my own because I want to play it. Oh, is that your Oculus?
Yeah, that's the Oculus, the Quest 2. So
right on.
Yeah, it's very useful because you don't need
I know.
a wire and stuff. So yeah,
I know. They gotta I just don't want to get on board with the whole Facebook sign in and also have you taken that thing out? Have you gone and walked around outside with it?
No, myself I haven't really. Maybe on a camping place I tried it out, but not really walk around far away or something.
Sure.
But it's really fun if you have a big space. You can really walk the whole game.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, even when I got my apartment, you can't really tell because my light keeps going out. But when I got this place, I specifically was, I was I'm not gonna put much around here because I want this whole space to be VR.
That's the main issue that you have with VR. You need some space.
Exactly. So have you been to those places? Have you been to those venues that they're VR, but they have like a real world counterpart to it. So like it's usually kind of like a warehouse, and I don't know what it looks like when I take the headset off, but like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like the Star Wars?
Yeah, no, I know. I've been seeing on YouTube and stuff. So
Right.
There is one like shooting game with two teams, and they actually have like a real world, and you have boxes. So you can really touch actually.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's really fun to see. So, but I haven't been myself yet. But I definitely want to do that.
Seriously.
Definitely that.
I haven't tried that one. The one that you're talking about, the arena one, that one looks like fun. But I did try the Star Wars one. There's at a mall in a city next to me. They have one where it's like, yeah, you put on a vest and the headset. You go through, and yeah, there's like, you could, wherever there's a wall, you could touch, and it's like, whoa, like there's the wall. And there's a part. Me and my friend, we walked into the room, and there's a bench. And we're like, oh, and we go over and we're like,
yeah, I want to sit.
We're sitting in the bench, It's like, oh, this is crazy. And then you walk into another room and there's guns on the wall, and we're just like, I'm gonna go grab that gun. And no controllers, nothing. You literally just go out and you reach out with your hands. And they have, I kept my headset on, so I don't know what it looked like in real life, but the dimensions of it and the shape and everything was exactly to the model. So it was very comfortable, and it felt. Yeah, it was very immersive. They even had heat and stuff. Like there's a big fire, and then it felt warm. So some of those get pretty crazy. Anyhow,
that's
stuff.
pretty nice.
Madness.
yeah, definitely.
What are you playing lately? What do you play on your Oculus?
On the Oculus, actually not so much at the moment, but some the Beat Saber stuff and Fit sometimes, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
Because time. I don't have a lot of time to play, so usually mainly what I'm playing lately is like Mobile Legends.
Okay.
So it's like a mobile version of League of Legends. So yeah, I play some games also more for research also. So when we have something new what we want to do, and then give me reference, and I'll have a look to the game.
Right.
So yeah.
Like what was one of those examples?
Yeah, some platformer games. So yeah, to look how they do certain things in their game, right. And so we can not copy really, but I mean we can see also how we can implement certain things better the way we do it. So that's mainly for research.
Right. Yeah.
So for gaming, I like competitive games.
Yeah. So
Mobile Legends, Rocket League. I've been playing a long time also.
Sure. You at Rocket League too?
I can do some aerials, but not like some people that you need to practice every day, then you can become really good. But right. if you're like a casual player, you won't get that high. But
if it is competitive mostly that you're playing, do you like story games and stuff like that, or
no, not so much.
Sure.
I liked what's the name of that game? I forgot the name. Yeah, like Oddworld. So that one I really liked.
A classic.
Yeah. That's like one I really liked.
The crazy alien dude. I haven't seen that in forever.
Yeah. It's I have it on Steam, so but that's one I definitely like. I like also fighting games, but also lately not that much of time to play.
Sure.
Like Killer Instinct, Mortal Kombat and games like that. But
what is your preference?
But from Mortal Kombat, I like more the old games and not the newer ones.
Same.
They're just
Mortal Kombat
the classic ones in that time. I take the Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate. Mm-hmm. That's like the one of the. But I remember that 2 was really so the difference between 1 and 2 was like a big difference because you could do combos and stuff.
Right.
And that time it wasn't really made to do I mean, like later on they made more combo stuff. So like from 3 I think you have really a lot more combos.
Yeah.
So because they found out that people really liked the combos part, so they continued on that, and So the evaluation from 1 and 2 was very big. And, I really loved the second one and the third one.
Yeah.
After that, it went not so.
I have fond memories of, and I know this is a very controversial opinion, not very many people like it, but 4, the 3D one where you could shift the axis that you're fighting on.
Yeah.
I haven't played it in years, so maybe I wouldn't agree with myself, with my 10-year-old self that played it. But I remember being a kid and really liking it. But I'll still go back and play Mortal Kombat Trilogy and stuff like that. Those are still a jam.
Yeah, definitely. When we were with friends, and those games stay fun.
This is the question I end up asking everybody on the show. And I'm kind of getting I'm already getting red flags that say this question maybe doesn't apply because you're playing mostly competitive games and stuff like that. But have you ever had like a really strong emotional experience playing a game? To the point of like even like crying or something like that. Where, like, no, you're not alone. No. There's and that's everybody's most people's answer is no. Yeah.
Yeah, but probably because I don't really play those kind of games.
Right.
But for example, Half-Life 2, that was a game that really intrigued me. So for the suspense and everything.
Yeah.
But that's different than from crying. But that really, it really made me like feel like inside the game. It was really the suspense of the game is really good. The storyline and stuff, that really I liked a lot. So even I played it for many years, I haven't played it. I can still remember several scenes that I know that certain things will happen and stuff. Right. That's it left something for me. So, but crying no. No. Right.
Even when you say it, that's a good example to bring up too, because Half-Life. I remember Half-Life 2 Episode 2. Right? Did you play the episodes, episode 1 and 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, the ending with, spoiler everybody, your experience, you're being gripped by the suspense and everything. What, did it even get close to kind of making you emotional when Alex's dad dies and everything at the end, when it's just like,
No.
Same here.
No.
Same here.
No. No, not really. Yeah.
I remember being like, oh, it's kind of a bummer, but I wasn't terribly attached to those characters.
No. It's not like watching movies. It happened easy for me. Like that's why I never look to drama movies, because I know I'm gonna have tears.
Right. Same.
Yeah, but for games, no. It's just I don't know. I just know that it's different, I think. So in my brain is saying it's just a game.
Right.
I think, but I don't know why with movies I do have it. So I don't know what's the main reason, what's the main difference. But yeah.
Yeah.
So in games I never had it, but with movies, that happens.
Yeah, and even some people are talking about it like with music. I think the big thing for me probably is like, you're playing, so you kind of feel like you're doing something. And there's sort of a disconnect because you feel ready to make decisions. And maybe there's, I don't know, that's just like a wall there. Also, when I was talking to Jean about the same thing, he mentioned the whole, the fidelity of it, the graphics, like just looking at a real human face versus like even when they get really realistic, maybe sometimes, I don't know, but I also haven't played The Last of Us. And I hear people all the time, they say The Last of Us is like a really emotional story, but I hear the animation and the fidelity is like really good. So maybe that changes it. Yeah. Is there anything else that you wanted to say just while we're here? You have the platform, say what's up to the community, or anything that you wanted.
I definitely want thanks to Jean and to Alex, because thanks to them, I could work from home. Oh, yeah. And it was very useful for me because I was going back and forth in the Philippines. So, that's definitely thanks to PlayMaker and to Sean that my life changed actually. So, yeah.
Seriously. Same here.
Yeah.
You hear that, Jean and Alex?
I think many other people have changed their life thanks to that. I'm not the only one, I'm sure of that. So.
Right, and you know what? I was going to flip it around on you too. Is that I know you've been an integral part of the success and development of PlayMaker as well. You've been. I talked to Alex and he says, that you've been a part of it. Anyways, I'm really super thankful that you had some time to sit down and talk. It's great to finally put a face to the name, DjayDino. And I was, for a long time, I should say this too, I was always saying DjayDino. I was always, I don't know, but that's so it's DjayDino.
Yeah, because it's Dino from dinosaur, but here they say Dino, yeah.
Right.
But DjayDino is okay also.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a name I used before also. I was a DJ also before I went to because I'm going back and forth, so I couldn't do that professionally anymore. So
right.
Yeah.
Former DJ, current game dev, DjayDino. All right, man. Well, it was really nice talking to you.
Yes. See you later.
Peace.